Hey y'all, what's up? Jamie, that's me here. Welcome back to the channel again, and welcome back to another quick chat. On this quick chat, we got to talk about more of Keith Lee and Ocho Cinco's opinion about what Mr. Keith Lee is out here doing for the community, honey. Now, if you've been somewhere under a rock, I've already done a video on this, but let me just kind of give y'all a quick recap of what's been going on, okay? So there is this TikToker, very well known TikToker by the name of Keith Lee. Okay. He goes around, he checks out a variety of different restaurants, and he gives his honest opinion about the food and the customer service. Okay. He has been on a tour and he recently came down to Atlanta, Georgia. And when he came to Atlanta, Georgia, he had some great experiences and some not so great experiences. And he decided to speak on all of it because that's what he does. And that's the transparency that he brings to his particular platform. Okay. We like to hear honest reviews. We're always looking for places to go, where to eat, especially if we're living in the city or we're traveling to that particular city. So we would like to know where to go. And a lot of people have come to trust what it is that Mr. Keith Lee says about restaurants. Okay. Well, he's come to Atlanta. He's checked out a few restaurants. One of the restaurants that he checked out was the Real Milk and Honey, not to be confused with Milk and Honey, but the Real Milk and Honey is the restaurant that he attended. Okay. He went there, and unfortunately, he had not such great of a customer service experience, right? For regular customer goers. Now, of course, Keith Lee may have over 13 million followers over on TikTok. He does not see himself as a celebrity, okay? And he knows he may get special treatment because other people may view him as such. So he doesn't necessarily go into the restaurants. He'll send his family into the restaurants on his behalf to either place a to-go order. They may call over the phone, or they may go inside and try to be seated. And he's being told, or at least his family is being told, different things. And once everyone sees his face, all of a sudden the rules change and they're so quick to try and accommodate him. Well, I feel like Keith really went viral after he went to the Real Milk and Honey, gave his honest review about that restaurant, and then the Real Milk and Honey decided to respond with a TikTok video saying, "Oh, well, we don't know who he is. Like, who is that? Keith Lee who?" Then they gave, their a quick caption about Keith or whatever, and that was that. Of course, they got drug on social media by a lot of people because people didn't think that that response was very professional, right? Well, he also got a chance to go to another popular restaurant known as OLG, which is owned by Candy Burris and her husband, Todd Tucker. All right. The OLG restaurant is where he went. He had his family go inside. I believe they actually tried to call and see if they could place like a to-go order so they could just merely check out the food, right? If they were able to do that, then it wouldn't really be much of a conversation about the customer service as a whole, because he would have just got the food ordered through DoorDash and he would have went on about his business. But unfortunately, with OLG, they don't have that availability on the weekend, unfortunately. Okay. So he sent his family in. It's a standard hour and a half wait time. And then when he went in, all of a sudden, within 10 minutes, a seat was available for he and his family. Of course, he decided to decline, and he came back and gave a honest and true review. And that's what it is that we want. So a lot of people have been up in arms about it. You've had a lot of people that's been out here supporting what it is that Keith Lee is doing for the community. We wholeheartedly appreciate it. Then you have the naysayers that are okay with being disrespected, and they fine with spending their money with anybody and just giving anybody their coin. So they're having a lot to say where they don't feel like they're in support of Keith and his actions and what he's doing, right? Well, it seems like Ocho Cinco may be one of those people, okay? Ocho Cinco has a show, a podcast that he does with Shannon Sharp. And I have to say, the clips that I've seen about their show is so hilarious. Okay. But this one wasn't as hilarious. It was much more on a serious note, as Ocho Cinco was pretty much being honest about the fact that he does not support what Keith Lee is out here doing. He feels as though Keith Lee is talking down and speaking negative on Black owned businesses. And what kills me the most is when Black owned businesses and just in general says, you know, it's hard out here for us. I'm so tired of hearing how hard it is out here for quote unquote us, but then y'all nickel and dime us, the very people that come in to support y'all, as if it's not hard on us as the consumers that's out here living to be underpaid. Hello. And then when we want to just get away and enjoy ourselves and have some good food, we got to be nickel and dime, from the parking lot to having a long as wait time to getting service that's subpar. And sometimes the food is just subpar as well. So Ocho Cinco thinks that it should only be positivity coming from Keith. And for me, that lets me know how much you don't know about Keith, in all honesty, because Keith has brought a lot of business to a lot of restaurants that was not getting attention, like these popular ones like the Real Milk and Honey and the OLG. So as much as he's out here, you know, calling out some of these bigger restaurants or whatever the case is, he's also out here supporting a lot of the small businesses, places that yourself, Mr. Ocho Cinco, will likely not even drop by and attend. How about you? Since you feel like it's so hard out here for us, go and find the local restaurants in your area that are being, you know, undervalued, underserved, or whatever the case is, underpromoted, and use your celebrity at those restaurants to bring in more customers there. You know what I'm saying? How about you show us something different? You get on your Keith Lee and go out here and help promote some of these other Black-owned businesses that's out here just trying to make it, because you know it's hard on us, according to you. All right. Now I'm gonna be quiet just a little bit because I want to play this snippet of their podcast so that you guys can hear Shannon Sharp's perspective on the work that Keith Lee has been out here doing, and also from Ocho Cinco's perspective. But before we get into that, real quick, let me say this. It's not so much as the work Keith Lee is out here doing, because Keith really ain't out here doing no work. Keith is really just out here being a normal human being that's trying to enjoy food with his family and share his experiences with those people that care to hear about it. That's really just it. It's not like he has an agenda where he's out here to tear down businesses or do anything like that. After every review, if it's not great, he heavily advocates that people do not go and harass, leaving negative reviews if they've never tried the restaurant. He also says, listen, this was my experience, but it doesn't mean that it has to be your experience or you'll get the same service. Okay. You do what you want with that. Okay. Now, how people choose to respond to it and what they want to do is solely on them. Okay. So that's that. But let's go ahead and let's just check out what it is they had to say.
Being a performer, a professional athlete, we get privileges sometimes at the restaurant, and sometimes we get to get things that normal people don't get. It happens.
I don't like it.
Ocho, so you've never gotten the table because you were Ocho Cinco.
I'm not talking about that. Yeah. And when they do, I mean, you know me, you know how I move, and everybody in this chat knows how I move when I go to restaurants. If you seat me first, you understand what's coming at the end when it's time to tip. I've been doing that 20-some years.
Okay, but
I don't like the fact of what he's doing.
Ocho,
I don't like. I don't like Ocho. It. I don't like the critiquing of our.
I have to pause right here, y'all, because for me, it's giving. You really don't know a whole lot. For some restaurants, some locations, I believe he could have tipped somebody even when he didn't even get everything that he wanted from there, or something happened. I feel like he tipped somebody like $500, like even though he wasn't able to like get the full experience. But all in all, you're talking as though Keith has not been giving. He gave one restaurant $2,000. Okay, he gave a $1,000 tip at one of the not popular restaurants. He gave $1,000 to be split amongst the entire staff, and then the person that actually took care of him and his family, he tipped that person $1,000 on their own. Okay. So he's out here doing his part. But what you doing? You over here saying, yeah, you know what's coming at the end when I go to these restaurants and I eat my food, and then I'm gonna get this type of tip and this, that, and the other. But are you going to the popular ones? Are you going to the ones that you know that's gonna hurry up and seat you? Or are you going to some of these other places? But let me be quiet and let him tell his story.
Restaurants and having people and talking bad about our goddamn businesses, and
Ocho,
like, you know how hard it is,
and I get it, Ocho,
for us to even get in the food industry and to have our own restaurant. And so,
Ocho,
like, what are we doing?
Don't ask me to come to your house and then ask me what I think about it without asking me to give you my honest opinion.
Nobody asked. Nobody asked for that. Nobody asked for that.
A lot of these people, listen, a lot of these restaurants do DM him, ask him to come. But he wants to go on, a lot of times he wants to go unannounced and give people, that's what he is. He's a food critic. He's turned himself into a food critic. It's okay.
Are we turning himself into resume? What are the qualifications of being a food critic?
Go to a restaurant and do you like the food?
I don't think that's fair, because what if somebody asked you what's the qualifications of being a podcaster? Like, I feel like that's silly. You know what I'm saying? Like, are you crazy? Just because you a celebrity and because you played on a football field a few times here or there or whatever like that, you've been on a TV show, you think you qualified to be a podcaster or something? Like, I feel like just as silly as that question is, so is the whole, what degree does he have? What expertise does he have to be a food critic? I don't want to hear nobody talking or asking that question in my personal, because y'all get on YouTube all the time to learn how to do a variety of things, and none of y'all really question a person's expertise in that field, and y'all blindly support, whether it's beauty tips or whether it's hair, whether it's financial things. Okay, y'all just go over there, watch it, blindly support, whether it's establishing a business or something, an LLC. Y'all don't know for a fact whether these people scamming you or they telling you the truth. So and it be thousands and millions of views on a lot of these videos. So I'm like, I don't want to hear nobody asking about what type of credentials he has, when a lot of these other folks don't have credentials, but y'all blindly follow them. So let me go ahead and just keep going.
Did you like the customer service? What was it like? Yes. What was the wait time like? That's all you got to do.
How about go do that at Maestro's? Go do that shit at Chris Roof. Go do it at Poppy Steak. Go do it at fucking Zuma. Go do it at goddamn whatever the fucking rest of them goddamn 5-star restaurants that everybody. Go do it at that. Name one of the restaurants you go to in LA. Name one. Where you and Selena Gomez went? Where y'all went? What's the name of the restaurant y'all went to?
I don't forgot now.
You know.
Now he done forgot.
I honestly forgot, because I have never been there before.
Go do it at they restaurants and give them the bad press and all the bad.
Ocho. Because you're black doesn't mean you're above criticism.
I'm not saying you're above anything, but go do it there. It's hard enough for us as it is. Now here you go.
So in other words, so if he got bad service, he's supposed to just let that slide.
Service wasn't bad. Service wasn't bad. Service, because it wasn't. It wasn't. I ain't never had bad service. And even if the
oh, girl, I had to pause right there, because this man said, I ain't never had bad service. I'm going to have to rewind it just a little tad, because, sir, I bet you have never had bad service because you are a celebrity, and that is the problem. Okay? How is it that you have regular people going into restaurants spending the same amount, if not more, than what some of these celebrities are spending, and they're not getting the celebrity treatment? But celebs can come in there, not promote your business, not do nothing, and maybe you could get a piece of a photo op with them, and they get the full red carpet, blue, the whole rainbow carpet rolled out for them. Girl, it's giving yellow brick road for these people. Like, are you crazy? I ain't never had bad service. That's you. How dare you say that and try and speak to his experience? Are you crazy? That don't make sense, Chad. I'm starting to think that you decided to give an opposing view to what Shannon gave, for the purposes of the podcast, that, you know, to bring about more viewers and controversy or whatever. That's really how I'm starting to feel.
It wasn't. I ain't never had bad service. And even if the service was bad, they might be having a bad day because some of the goddamn idiots they don't have to deal with.
Ocho, honestly, in the customer service business, you can't have a bad day, because think about what you just said. Customer service.
Do you know what it's like dealing with some of these people?
You shouldn't get in that business. Do not get into the customer service business if you can be easily perturbed by having a bad day.
But sometimes you need a job, and sometimes that job, being customer service and being in the food industry, is all you can do.
Ocho, I know me. I can't be in the customer service business because I'm easily irritated. I don't like hey, I ordered this and they mess up the order. Okay, I get that, Ocho, but you have to understand, people are paying their hard-earned money. So I have the right. If I like the service, I'm going to say I like the service.
Period. Okay. So I'm over here and I am with, Shannon Sharp all the way down. Y'all got to let me know what side of the coin are you on? Are you on Ocho side or you on Shannon's side? Leave your thoughts and comments down below. Now, we are about to get into some of the comments of what people had to say in response to Ocho Cinco's opinion. So let's get into it. Someone says, but he annihilated Gordon Ramsay's restaurants. He's not biased at all. LOL. He literally goes to places owned by all races and cultures and gives honest reviews. Living in ATL 17 years, he isn't lying about how going out to eat is like going to the club or Disney World. It's never simple. And often, unfortunately, at our businesses, the customer service be horrific. It's just the truth. Okay. Someone else goes on to say, accountability is not an attack. Just because you're black doesn't mean you're absolved of accountability. And Keith Lee does what he does in the most decent way possible. Never disrespect the business, just tells the truth of his experience. That's the best you can ask. And he's got 14 million followers on TikTok. Somebody gives a damn what he says. That could be what qualifies him, but what do I know? And that's interesting because actually, not too long ago, he was just sitting at 13 million. It was like 13 point something million. So now he's hit 14 million. So this controversy and a lot of what people are saying is bringing more attention to Keith Lee and his platform. Even more people are finding what he has to say as valuable. Child, let's keep going. Someone else says this is exactly why our people can't truly elevate. Every critique is viewed as hating, and we never hold others accountable. You go into a white establishment and you explain your issue, there is almost always an apology or a solution. We get defensive and want to fight. I live in Atlanta, and while I won't say all black establishments act like this, several act very unprofessional to their main support group, which is other black people. We cut corners for each other, but do back flips and go the extra mile for white people. Chad is out of touch. Okay. Someone else says, if we as black people can walk into establishments of non-color and expect the best service, best food quality, etc., then why should we expect less from our own establishments? Make it make sense. I will support black businesses all day, but where you will lose me at every time, black or not, is the service. Getting our foot in the door is hard, but we shouldn't just allow mediocrity because we have a quote unquote hard way to go. Okay. Or it's hard out here for us. I know that's right. And people be killing me with, I mean, if I'm spending my money, I have a right to complain if the service is not good or whatever the case is. I just have a right to say how I feel. And I just don't feel like people deserve breaks. It's accountability. We're expecting more. We are requiring more. Why can't we require more? Why should we have to settle for certain type of service? Like, it'll never make sense to me. Let's keep going. Someone else says, as a black business owner, I get so sick of y'all trying to excuse unprofessional BS just because a business is black owned. Exactly. I don't give a if you black, white, orange, purple, or yellow. Right is right and wrong is wrong at the end of the entire day. And I truly agree with everything this person, I agree with what everybody had to say. A lot of people are not Team Chad in those comments. A lot of people are supporting Mr. Keith Lee more and more. And I'm here for it. Like, I mean, he's standing on business all day long. And if you offended by that as a business owner, then that says a lot about you, and it says a lot about your business, in my opinion, and a lot of about how you run your business, and that customers are not necessarily always right in your case, in your line of business. So I just feel like, hey, it's just he's just calling out accountability across the board. And I appreciate Keith Lee doing it from a perspective of a normal person versus Chad being so vocal on this platform as a celebrity. My experience will never be the same experience as a Chad Ocho Cinco. And he would definitely be the very person to walk past me as I wait in line already for an hour and a half and be seated in 5 minutes, as though he already had reservations for a location that don't even do reservations. Hello? And gets to sit down, and they're going to pull their best waitresses, their best waiters, and others to accommodate his table, because I guess his vocal reach is longer or louder than mine. But what I love is that it's regular people like Keith Lee that's starting to get a platform now, that's having even more followers than some of these celebrities like Chad Ochocinco. So clearly Keith Lee's reach, his reach is going to be larger, in my opinion, than a Chad. But I bet you, girl, I feel like at the end of the day, if it was Keith up there and Chad, they probably still would see Chad because of his long-standing history as a celebrity over Keith. But either way, go girl. I'm gonna let y'all argue and fight down in the comments about everything. Y'all let me know whose side y'all on, how you feel about this overall situation. I'm Jamie, that's me, honey. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share my videos. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Jamie, that's me, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.